It's 7 p.m. on Monday. What better time to start a reading challenge than at 7 p.m. on a Monday? We are going to be reading only dark romance for a week. I 100% am a romance reader, but I am not a dark romance reader. Also, this is Winston. He demands attention at all hours of the day. I thought it would be fun to try reading some dark romance for a week. I will give you my raw and honest and real reactions to that. Again, I don't read dark romance, so I didn't know what to read or pick for this video. So I posted on my TikTok and asked the book girlies on TikTok what the heck I should try reading. Go follow my TikTok, link down below. Especially if you want to be involved in future reading videos like this, where I just might need your help. In this video, my goal is to read 3 dark romance books. I want the first one to be like dipping my toes into dark romance, not going so dark, and then progressively getting darker as we go. The first one, definitely everyone is saying Lights Out I should start with, so I'm gonna look. I know that everyone raves about the audiobook and I could probably get it on Spotify. 7 people said I should start with Lights Out, so I think that that is a no-brainer. And then for darker, Haunting Adeline, which of course I've heard of but never considered reading. And then Emily McIntyre, she wrote Hooked, which I guess is a dark romance. It was fine, but this person says specifically to read book number 3, Wretched. She says it's book 3, but they are all standalone, not even interconnected. So I could start with that one. Okay, this one says Lights Out to start, Haunting Adeline to end. This one says I agree with the others to start with Lights Out, then Haunting Adeline, Legacy of Gods, The Lords, or Edge of Darkness trilogy. Then super dark, read Little Stranger. That feels so scary. Okay, but if Haunting Adeline isn't super dark. Okay, Lights Out is not on Kindle Unlimited. I would have to buy it for $10. Bestie, if I'm gonna spend $10 on a book, I'm gonna buy the physical version. That's so annoying. Okay. He's riled. You can't see, but they're playing tug with like this tiny little baby lamb chop. Haunting Adeline is also on Kindle Unlimited, but this book is 565 pages long. Does it need to be? When you think dark romance, you think Haunting Adeline. Next, I want to see if the Emily McIntyre book is on here because I've already read one of her books, so it might not be too crazy. This one's only 282 pages. From international bestselling author Emily McIntyre comes a dark and delicious fractured fairy tale reimagining of The Wizard of Oz. A woman can be great and terrible too. I'm down. What I'm thinking is, since everybody said to start with Lights Out, I'm going to start listening to that one tonight, and I'm in the mood to actually sit down and read a physical book or like on my Kindle, but instead I'm gonna play, this is like contradicting so hard, but I'm gonna play some Hello Kitty Island Adventure on my computer and listen to this dark romance at the same time. So I'll get it started tonight. Tomorrow I'll see who sells Lights Out and where it's available and maybe go pick it up somewhere so I can actually physically read it, but we'll see what the vibes are tomorrow. I'm thinking I might go with Wretched by Emily McIntyre after that one, or maybe the first book in the Lords series because I got a lot of people recommending that one too. Haunting Adeline got 4 recommendations, so I think I am just required to read that book. I also got 3 recommendations for the first book, God of Malice, in the Legacy of Gods series, I think. But we will see how we're feeling when the time comes. I'm gonna start Lights Out tonight, start listening to it, and I will see y'all tomorrow probably. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Just like that, Winston is coming over for his cuddles and his scratchies, huh? Right on cue. Happy Tuesday. Oh my god, look at him. He's so cute. Happy Tuesday. I ended up listening to chapter 5 last night. I had planned on going to the gym this morning and listening while I worked out, but there was a really big thunderstorm this morning that I was not aware of, and Winston was freaking out, and I did not want to drive in that storm, and it is still raining. Oh, Willow's joining us. My first initial thoughts are that, holy smokes, that was the longest content warning I have ever read. I didn't read it. I heard it. Dang. Like, I don't even know everything that was included in that. This audiobook is a duet, so there is a male and a female. Both perspectives are written in the book, and so both are voiced in the audiobook, and I love that. I love a duet. The male, the narrator, is the same narrator from Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, and I loved him in that. There's just like certain voices that I don't like to listen to, but his is one. I'm down to listen to that, you know? I think those are all the updates I have. I have been like giggling in this one. Like, I do think that it's funny, and that's kind of what everyone said, is that it's definitely has humor in it in addition to it being like a dark romance. So I'm really enjoying that. I do want the physical copy. I want to just like sit down and read, but I don't know if I'm gonna get it. All of the other books are on Kindle Unlimited, so I could also make this like a reading dark romance for free situation, and so I'll listen to this on Spotify for free and then just read the other two on Kindle Unlimited and then not have to buy a single thing. So that's kind of sick. Unrelated to absolutely anything at all, I'd heard of Book Outlet before, but I've never ordered anything from there before. I saw that Book Outlet was doing a $5.99 fiction sale, so not every single, but most fiction books were $5.99. That's crazy. So last night I placed an order. The shipping is 3 to 10 business days, so it's gonna be a little bit till it gets here. Probably not in this video, but I only spent like $39, maybe less, maybe like $37, and I got 7 books. It also is making me really want to go to Half Price Books. I've never been there, but there's some, not close, but nearby. It'd be a drive, probably like 45 minutes, but sounds fun. But I also know there's like 3 or 4 new releases that are coming out next month that I really want to get, so I probably won't, and then I'll just get those new releases next month. Yeah, this was so off topic, so sorry. But anyway, I'm gonna continue listening to this, and I really need to edit today, and I also need to go to the grocery store. So I unfortunately cannot listen to an audiobook while I edit. I wish that I could so bad, but then I can listen once I go to the grocery store, which will be fun. Yeah, those are my updates. Happy Tuesday. Happy day 2 of reading dark romance. I made a coffee. I tried to replicate the Golden Eagle from Dutch Bros, and I just made it at home. I went to the grocery store. I got some double tulips, and I'm obsessed with them. I love them so much. Spring and winter are my 2 favorite times of the year. I friggin' love tulips, and I mean, I love being cold, so winter. But, oh, you can see my light. In case you're curious, you have to use that light when I'm filming because it's so dark in this house. It is time to give the puppies some cheese. This is literally just some American cheese, and they love American cheese so much, so we're going to give them some. Okay, I wanted to give a little reading update. I want to make sure it's very clear. I did not listen to this dark romance in the grocery store. That would have been crazy of me. So do not fear, I did not do that. I did listen to it in the car on my way to Trader Joe's and to H-E-B, so there's that. I am halfway through chapter 11, so I'm like 38% through. I'm really liking it. It's making me like giggle. It is straight smut, straight spice, so just know that. But it's so like funny and kind of cute, but like dark, but like cute. I don't know. Let me stop my laundry real quick. So if you know nothing about Lights Out, like I knew nothing about Lights Out, it follows the female main character who is a trauma nurse and the male main character who is the best friend and roommate of the female main character's situationship. The female main character has obviously gone through some traumas being a trauma nurse, and she works like in the ER, like she yeah. So she has discovered in her life that she is interested in like the mask kink. She follows people on social media who like post thirst traps about that, and she follows one guy in particular that she just real likes. And then yeah, so the male main character is the roommate of the ex, kind of ex, not really ex, they didn't date. He is a cybersecurity. Long story short, he ends up helping her try to find the guy on social media that she really likes. The guy on social media is like stalking her, but like this feels wrong to say, but like in a good way. He like is bringing her food, or he broke into her house, but then the next day sent her flowers and a bunch of like home security stuff. So stalking her in a good way. The female main character wants to figure out where he lives so she can like get him back, basically. It's just so fun. It's just like silly. I mean, not silly, but just kind of like goofy. I don't know. But it's also like dark. Don't get me wrong. It's dark. Somebody got stabbed. But it was an accident, okay? Yeah, no, I mean, it's basically just all smut, so keep that in mind. But I think that's what all of these are going to be anyway, so I guess just know that about all of these books I'm going to be reading. They are basically just smut. But I do want to agree with everybody that has said that the audiobook is really good, because the audiobook is really good. And honestly, I feel like it is the male voice actor who's making it really good, because he just knows how to sound. Yeah, if you liked him in Just for the Summer, just give this one a go. Just give it a try, you know? I do feel like you gotta be kind of careful where you're listening to this though, so I think Miss Willow wants to go outside. Time to go outside? Okay. It's really windy out here. And look at that's water. Look at all this water. Ignore our table that's flipped upside down. Just don't worry about that. But look, that's a pile of water. Oh look, more water. It's crazy that it was pouring rain this morning and now it's incredibly bright. Crazy plot twist, but now it's Thursday. It has been a busy week of editing, so I haven't been able to listen to my audiobook very much, and I wanted to finish Lights Out before I got into anything else, because everyone was saying that Lights Out is the best book to start with. So now it's Thursday and I've only read one book. But I finished listening to Lights Out today, and I wanted to give my final rating and final thoughts before I get into my next book. This book was so funny. I really enjoyed it. It is very spicy, mostly spice, but there is some like rom-comminess and just like, I don't know, just like kind of like silly goofy, you know? So I think I'm gonna rate it 4 stars. It was really good, but It just didn't give 5-star vibes quite like my other 5 stars that I've read, but I did really enjoy it. It's definitely not for everyone, but the audiobook was really good, and the male narrator, like I've said a million times already, he is a great narrator, voice actor, so highly recommend if you're into that kind of thing. I will say though, listening to dark romance on audio, I was constantly scared that my AirPods would somehow disconnect from my phone and then the book would like automatically play out loud on my phone. So constantly afraid of that. Also, I was listening to it like through Bluetooth in my car when I was driving, and when I got to parking lots, again, I was worried that people could hear from outside the car. So hopefully that didn't happen. I listened a lot while going on walks and also just laying outside, sitting outside, playing with the dogs, cooking, all that kind of stuff. And it was good. It was fun. I think so far, my thoughts about this genre are that it's not bad, but it's not necessarily my cup of tea, or maybe it's like a cup of tea I would drink, but not often, if that makes sense. I have decided I'm going to be reading Wretched by oh my gosh, I can't talk. I'll be reading Wretched or Wretched by Emily McIntyre. This is the 3rd book in the Never After series. The brightness is pretty low, but this is what it looks like. So we'll see. This one's a Wizard of Oz retelling, I think. So that'll be fun. I don't know what's going on, but I keep getting headaches. I've been getting a lot of headaches lately, and I have one right now. I'm trying to push through and not take a nap, but I've taken Excedrin and it didn't do anything. I hope it doesn't get worse, but I fear I'm gonna have to put my headache hat on. I feel like I need to do some looking into why I'm getting headaches. I'm gonna go ahead and start reading this on my Kindle, and I'll check in once I know any more. This right here is why I don't read dark romance. Oh my god. Hi, it is the next day and I finished reading Wretched, I really don't know how to pronounce that, by Emily McIntyre. This is the Wizard of Oz reimagining is how she describes it. I want to be very clear. This is not Wizard of Oz at all. Like it's a little bit Wizard of Oz, but just in the names of things. So there's a character named Dorothy. There is, I think it's a place called Toto's. There is a yellow brick road that leads to a cabin. But yeah, aside from names of things, it's really not Wizard of Oz at all. I don't think I explained this book in the beginning very well at all, or even at all. So I wanted to give a brief explanation of it, and then I'll give you my rating and feelings. This book follows the female main character, who is the daughter of a leader of the Irish mob in Illinois, I think. So basically the daughter of a mob leader guy. And the male main character is an FBI agent, an undercover cop, basically. So he is tasked with trying to get the scoop, get the dish on the mob, right? I feel like that's basically all I can say without spoiling anything. So that's what it's about. My rating. I am giving this one 2.5 stars. It was very fast paced. I read this so much faster than I listened to Lights Out. But to be fair, if I had Lights Out on my Kindle, I would have read it even faster than this one, I imagine. So it is very fast paced. So it does have that going for it. It is dark. It's dark. I think what's different about this book to other, or I guess especially to Lights Out, is that the female main character is the one that's like morally gray. But really, she's not morally gray. She just is not good. She's not a good person. So that's interesting. But it's very dark, especially the way this book ends. Dang. How does it compare to Lights Out? So I would say Lights Out is definitely more like rom-com dark romance. So funny. A lot funnier. This one, not as funny. Like, not really funny at all, I would say. I don't know. I guess I wouldn't say there's more spice. Also, my windows are open. It's going to be the last day of the year that our windows are open. So if you hear birds or chickens, I apologize. But we must continue. Yeah. So definitely a lot of spice in both of these books. I think there might be more spice in Lights Out than in this one. But definitely still a lot going on there. Yeah, I feel like one of the biggest differences between these two books is in Lights Out, I really cared about the characters. I was on their side. I was rooting for them. I really liked them. I feel like I knew them. In this book, I don't feel like I really connected to the characters. I didn't really care about them very much. I wasn't rooting for them. I was considering at about 75% DNFing it. But I was like, no, I gotta stick this out. People said I should read it. And I do think the ending was worth finishing the book. But I just didn't care about the characters. And that was kind of the biggest deal breaker for me. Moving forward, though, I am planning on reading Haunting Adeline next. But I need a break. I need a minute. That one was just really dark. I just need some time. I need to read a YA fantasy. So I am going to pick up Legendary by Stephanie Garber. This is on my March TBR. So I'm going to read this one and then I'll get back into Haunting Adeline. I just need a second. I need to breathe. I am not used to all of this darkness. So much murder, so much death, so much gore. I need some magic. That's what I need. So I'm going to read this quick and then I will update you guys again once I start reading Haunting Adeline. Winston, you got anything to say? Anything for the people? Nothing. I finally started reading Haunting Adeline last night. I don't know why, but I was expecting it to be dark immediately and throughout the entire book. I mean, I guess it was, okay, there was a part that was pretty dark. That was like kind of unsettling to read at like midnight last night. However, I'm about 100 pages in. There are over 500 pages in this book. So boy, oh boy. For those of you who don't know, because I didn't know going into this book, but I probably should have read a short description before I got into it. This book is about female main character Adeline. When her grandmother passes away, she inherits her grandmother's house. Our female main character living in the house and loves the house. That's the main setting the scene here. Our female main character is an author, and from what I can tell, she's a very successful author. Well, I guess what happens is she's in her house one day and she starts to receive roses randomly showing up in her house, and she doesn't know where they're coming from or who they're coming from, but she can sense that someone is watching her just constantly. Whether she's at a book signing or just hanging out in her house, she feels like someone's watching her. And you know what? Someone is watching her, because while we're finding out, learning about her story, whatever, we also start following the male main character. I don't know his name. I don't think we're told his name yet. The male main character is a computer science guy. He's a hacker. Okay, also, what was the first book I read? Lights Out. Lights Out, the male main character was also a hacker. And then there was also a hacker in Wretched. What is up with dark romance and hackers? That's weird that it's been in all 3 books. The male main character, he, I guess, owns his own company where he is actively out there fighting against human trafficking. Very noble job, but also he's like the main guy. He's like the hitman. He's the one that kidnaps people who might have information, tortures them, and then, you know, definitely he is our morally gray main character, where he's not out there just random people, innocent people. He is specifically going and saving like young girls that are being kidnapped and trafficked. So morally gray, you know. However, this is quite gruesome. It already has been gruesome. I've definitely been just skipping past those really dark paragraphs, gruesome, gory paragraphs, because that is not what I'm into. I don't need to read about that in the middle of the night. I don't need it. I mean, I do think the storyline is interesting. There's a whole other layer that I haven't even mentioned yet. So she's in this house, her grandparents' house, which was her parents' house. So it's really like originally her great-grandparents' house. She ends up finding letters, and the letters are from her great-grandmother. Not letters, it's a diary. So like diary entries. And apparently her great-grandmother had a bit of a stalker situation. And we also learn some other very interesting facts about the great-grandmother and the house. Honestly, I think it was like last chapter, so like chapter 6, pretty early on. I'm not going to say it because I don't know, I feel like that's kind of spoiling things, but you find something out. The female main character is trying to reason it out, like what she finds out about her great-grandmother, and she like explains what she thinks happened, and I think it's pretty clear that that's not what happened and that someone else is to blame. Those are my thoughts right away. But the writing style, it is very fast-paced. Things are happening quickly. A lot of days have already passed and I'm only on chapter 7. There's also like a best friend character who I'm jiving with. I don't know why I say jiving so often. I say it in these videos, but I don't say it in real life. But yeah, those are my thoughts so far. I'm going to keep reading and I'll check back in probably around the halfway mark. I love him so much. I am officially 50% of the way through Haunting Adeline. Okay. This book is not at all what I was expecting. Is it dark? Yes. Is it romance? Yes. Is there like stalking? Yes. But everything else I have not been expecting. First and foremost, I am really enjoying the whole subplot about her grandma's murder, her great-grandma's murder that she's investigating. I'm down with that. I appreciate having that kind of like thing that we can escape to when things are getting too dark. So I'm really enjoying having that aspect. Second of all, so from what I've learned from reading, I mean, obviously I'm not done with this book yet, but from reading these 3 books, is that popular dark romance, because I haven't read not popular dark romance, contains 2 things. One is hackers, which I don't know what that's about. I mean, it fit all of the stories, but why has it been in all 3? I don't know. And 2, a scene with a gun. That's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, some other thoughts. I feel like it's moving pretty slowly. I feel like this does not need to be as long as it is, because it's like I'm at 50% and it's been an entire book. It's like 250 pages that I'm already at, or like more than that. I just don't think it needs to be this long. We obviously know what's going to end up happening between the 2 of them, so I feel like that is just being so dragged out. We've been following the male main character's kind of storyline and all of his, it's like he has his own subplot to this entire situation, and they're finally starting to merge a little bit with the female main character's plot, so that has been interesting, and I guess we'll find out how that goes down. But I do think that this is going to bring them closer, obviously, now that things that they're both going through, or things that he's going through now, involves her. So maybe things will start moving a little quicker now. That's what I need. Those are my updates. I'm halfway through, and if I have anything really crazy to talk to you about, I will definitely pop in and talk. But if not, then I will talk to y'all when I finish the book. Oh,
Oh no, like Christmas, birthday, Valentine's Day.
I read a lot last night, and now I'm at 96%, and I'm I don't know how I'm feeling about this book. I actually wanted to pull up and look at how many days it's taken me to read this book. And if you don't have the Fable app, I highly recommend. But on there, I track like my reading streak. I've been reading Haunting Adeline for almost a week. That might not seem like a long time. If it takes me more than like 4 days to finish a book, that's how you know it's not my favorite. It feels like I'm forcing myself to finish it at this point, but it's like, it's weird because it's not bad. It just, I think I'm just in general not interested. It's like, I know how this is going to end. Whether it's this book or in the next book, like I know they're going to end up together. And I know probably something's going to happen with her. That's like, he's going to have to go save her at some point. So like, I don't know. I guess I'm just like not really excited about it. Plus, all of the like gory / like I guess literally the darkness of it is really dark, and I just don't. Sorry, the dogs were freaking out over our neighbor dogs. But all this to say is I think that the darkness of this book is making me not want to read it. Just, I mean, if you read the book, then you know like all of the dark stuff that Zaid deals with. It's just like hard for me to read. And I'm not having the best time when I'm reading it. It's like I don't feel good after I'm reading it. I also definitely wanted to go to the gym and read this while I like walked on the treadmill. But this is just not the type of book I can read out in public. So yeah, I'm skipping like basically all of the smut scenes. Like that I fear is the part that I care the least about. So I've just been skipping it, like reading the beginning and reading the end, and I'm not missing anything. And yeah. But anyway, I am already 96% of the way through. I do want to finish this, so I'm going to sit here and just try to finish it all before my meeting. You know how I said that I knew how this book was going to end? I, in fact, did not know how this book was going to end. This whole book, I feel like has made me exhausted. I'm tired. I don't think I'll be reading the next one, but I think I will look up spoilers to see what happens. Definitely not a satisfying ending. If you're looking for that in a book, you're not going to find it with this one. I've taken a moment to think about this book. Did some gentle breathing, some meditating, you know. I think that I've decided that I'm giving it 2 stars. Here are my thoughts. First of all, the main character does have some morals. I'm going to try to talk about this without any spoilers, so it might be a little bit vague, but if you've read the book, I think you'll understand. The main character, it's like he had 2 personalities, right? I liked one personality, and then I didn't like the other personality. I didn't like who he acted like he was when he was with our female main character. I don't like the things that he pressured her into. I don't like the non-consensual things that happened. I don't like that it was like romanticized. I don't dig that. I don't dig it. Not my thing. Some of those parts were hard to read, and again, like I said, I skipped and didn't read basically any of the smut in this book because it was not my cup of tea. I don't think that the good that the main character is doing in the world is enough to make what he did to Addie okay. So there's that. So I feel like that's a pretty big portion of this book is not liking the main character. Other things, I did enjoy that there was that aspect of mystery with the grandmother or the great grandmother. I enjoyed that. But at the same time, I felt like there were too many things going on. There were too many levels of things, too many like, this is happening, but really this is happening, but this is happening, and now we found out that this was happening the whole time, and then at the end, a big reveal of actually this was happening the whole time. It was too much. It was too much. Also, it was too long. I feel like that is my review. That is how I feel about most books. If it's over 350 pages, it's too long. It does not need to be that long. 400 is like pushing it, but definitely 550 pages for this dark romance unnecessary. I felt like it was super repetitive in the cat and mouse portion of the things. Didn't love that. Also, the dark parts of this were really dark. Really dark. Like in the other 2 books that I read. Okay, so in Lights Out, it was dark, but it was like that. It was like one main dark thing, and they go through it together, and it's like, it's dark, but it's not that dark. And then for Wretched, I still don't know how to pronounce that. That one is definitely a lot darker, and you see a lot more dark things happening throughout the book, but it's still like not that dark. Like it's dark, especially like at the end is dark, but not that dark. This book is like so hard to read. It's so dark. The stuff that the male main character is doing is just difficult to read. So it's like I'm already not reading this much. I'm already not enjoying all of the dark stuff that the male main character is doing. It's like I'm basically skipping half of the book, the romance. So I kind of touched on how I didn't like the male main character, but then in addition to that, just the romance didn't feel romance-y. It's like, where was the romance? He was just throwing himself on her basically the entire time, and then finally at the end she's like, wait, maybe I do like him. Those are my thoughts. Those are my feelings. I just can't get over the male main character in that way, and I just don't romanticize the situation and can't romanticize this whole story situation, the 2 main characters. Like I don't like their relationship. I don't like them. I don't like him. So those are my final thoughts. But that brings us to the end of this video. I read 3 dark romances. I was going to try to read them in 1 week and ended up having to read them in 2.5 weeks because Haunting Adeline took me forever to read, which is a sign that I didn't like the book. Unfortunately. Lights Out, I did give 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. That one was good. The audiobook was good. If you want to get into dark romance, definitely I recommend. That one was funny. It was like I actually liked their relationship. That was good. Wretched, I think I gave it 3 stars. I didn't need it. Didn't need to have read that book. I'm good. I don't think that anyone needs to read that book, but I guess if you're into dark romance, sure. Finally, Haunting Adeline, 2 stars. Not my cup of tea. I can understand how people might like it, but not for me. The entire time that I was reading this book, I just kept thinking about all the other books that I have on my bookshelf that I want to read. So if that's not a sign that I didn't enjoy it, then I don't know what is. But my thoughts on dark romance in general, I think that I personally am down. I'm hip with a little dark romance, you know? If Haunting Adeline is like the darkest dark romance, which I don't think that it is, but it is one of the most popular, especially on TikTok, I don't think I'm into that kind of dark romance. But I am into a Lights Out where there's comedy and it's not as dark and not as, you know. So I also don't think that this is a genre I'm going to read a ton of. I think I'm not opposed to if I find a storyline that I'm interested in, but in general, this is also not something I would want to read while I'm like doing things. Like I'm not going to go to the coffee shop and read dark romance. That's wild. I'm not going to go to the gym and read dark romance while I walk on the treadmill, and I am definitely not going to be walking around the grocery store with a dark romance audiobook in my ears. That's terrifying. So there's that. I think that we've discovered dark romance is not my favorite genre. Give me a light, fluffy romance. Give me a hockey romance right now, immediately. You know what? That actually might be what I need. I'm excited to read anything else. I think that's it. I think those are all of my thoughts from reading dark romance. Those are my reviews. That's how it went. Do I recommend? No. That's it for today's video. If you've made it to the end and you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? Subscribe. I also have my Instagram, TikTok, Goodreads all linked down below if you want to stay more up to date on what I'm doing, what I'm reading, what's going on. Definitely check that out. And also, I have my Patreon link down below if you want to get early access. I do post some other just like fun content over there. So check that out if you're interested. It'll be linked down below. I think that's it for today's video. If you are in the need of a video that is a little less dark, a little less, you know, check this one out. You should watch this one next, right here. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye.